In an absolute torrent of money invested down here. Millions of dollars have changed hands since betting opened on the Melbourne Cup this morning. Originally, the Phantom and Shazora were favourites, joint favourites at around 7-1, but now the Phantom is outright favourite and Shazora has drifted a couple of points. In the last couple of minutes of betting, the best backed horse in this race has been the Cup's King. Kingston Rule, trained by Bart Cummings. There's been terrific money for Kingston Rule, and I'd say that in the last 5 minutes of betting, Kingston Rule has been the most heavily supported horse on course. The Phantom's still favourite. Shazora's still in there, a couple of points worse than the Phantom. We've seen no money at all in the ring today for the mighty Sedestin. Punters have deserted Sedestin. They seem to think that this mighty horse can't win the Melbourne Cup with his weight. But the ones that they've wanted all day have been the Phantom, Shazora, and in the last few minutes, big money for Bart's nomination, Kingston Rule. Good luck, Dan.
Thanks, Bobby. Do you think Kingston Rule will start favourite now? Or
no, he won't start favourite. The Phantom will remain favourite. Shazora and Kingston Rule will vie for second favouritism, just ahead of Water Boatman, that has drifted out to 11 and 12 to 1 as we speak.
And your tip?
Oh, gee, it's a tough one. I've been with Shazora all the year. I thought she'd win from the day she set foot in Australia. I thought the Melbourne Cup would be hers. I see no reason to change my mind. If I was going for a couple of Maddies, Naboto and our Magic Man has also been very well supported at long odds.
Thanks very much, Bob. I mentioned the nerves here. Well, even the barrier attendants, Peter Crackers Keenan, must be nervous. You're one of the best-known faces that you'd see on a racetrack or a football field, and it's a nervous time for everyone.
Well, it certainly is, Dan, and I came down here when it came down here for the start, I started to get nervous, and I watched the jockeys opening up their horses on the way down, and very determined boys, and I look down there now that they're going through their plans. Their trainers has given them their race plan, and they're just going through. They're trying to relax their mouth. They're trying to make sure that the tension doesn't flow through onto the horses' reins, and trying to keep their horses pretty quiet, because the simple reason they've got to go 2 miles and they've got to really run some time. But had a look at Shazora. She's broken out a little bit in the across the coat a bit, because I suppose a hot day and she's a mare. But I look to Kingston Rule. He looks a treat. Most of these horses, old stayers, they've been around a bit, but they're down here now. But the jockeys, well, it's what they call their day. And if you can win a Melbourne Cup, that's what it's all about. You do 5 years apprenticeship and you get a chance to win a Melbourne Cup. And these jockeys are the best in the land. You see them down here. I have never seen so many determined young fellows in my whole life. It's just great to have a look at great sportsman work.
Thanks, Crackers. John Letts is a dual Melbourne Cup winning jockey. He can tell us exactly how the jockeys would be feeling and his tip.
Well, Dan, they'd be walking into the barriers now and they'd be wanting to get on with the race. But as soon as they might be hyped up a little bit before the race, but as soon as those gates open, it's a different ball game. The relaxation starts then, the guys look for their positions, and then all they've got to worry about is about the last 1,200 metres, and that's when the race is really on in earnest. You've got to try and get a good spot going out the straight here. Very important that you don't cover a lot of ground in a 2-mile race. But looking at Sedestin, Dan, he looked terrific going down to the barrier, but I must agree with Bob that the Bart Cummings horse, Kingston Rule, looked magnificent going down, and there was a little bit of conjecture about him galloping him yesterday morning, but I think Bart's done the right thing. He looks magnificent today, and I think he's going to be very hard to beat from barrier 1.
They're just about set to go for the 1990 Foster's Melbourne Cup. The field is set. The greatest horse race in the Southern Hemisphere. And the lights on, there'll be a huge roar from the crowd when they jump. And they're off and racing. And one of the first to jump out in the Foster's Melbourne Cup was Kingston Rule. Down near the inside, Rainbow Myth got out fairly well. Flying Luskin, our Magic Man. Sedestin out wide as Shelley is immediately going back to the tail end of the field. Rising Fear and Savage Toss and Naboto all up towards the lead with Donegal Mist as they run onto the course proper. 2,800 metres left to go, and Savage Toss is in front. Leads from La Tristia, and our Magic Man wide up, went up to third, followed by Donegal Mist and Selwyn's Mate. Behind them, Mr. Brooker, followed by Naboto and Kingston Rule. Ali Boy inside, Flying Luskin. Rising Fear trapped 3 deep, and then Mount Olympus, and over on the inside, Equidity, followed by the Phantom. Shazora 3 deep. Then Water Boatman, followed by Rainbow Myth, and Del Raff and Sedestin got over to the rails. 2 lengths away, last year's winner, Terrific. Around him, the stablemate Frontier Boy. Then Batuta, Just a Dancer, and Shelley last of all. A lap to go in the 1990 Foster's Melbourne Cup, and Savage Toss leads. It's Savage Toss in front by a length and a half. In second placing, our Magic Man and La Tristia third. A length and a half to Donegal Mist, and Naboto fifth the rail. Then Mr. Brooker. Selwyn's made around them 3 deep, a length and a half to Kingston Rule and Flying Luskin. Then Ali Boy followed by Equidity around the outside. Rising Fear 3 deep in the Phantom, back on the inside in the purple colours. Then came the grey Mount Olympus, followed by Shazura, Water Boatman the rail. A length away Del Raffin, Rainbow Myth, 1.5 Sedestin and Frontier Boy, a length Batuta. 2.5 lengths further back than a Terrific and Shallier, and a length and a half to Just a Dancer last of all. And he must be 20 lengths off the lead as they go to the 1600 metres point. They're halfway there in the Melbourne Cup, and Savage Toss led by a length and a quarter. Our Magic Man was second, third La Tristia with a box seat, a length and a half to Donegal Mist. Selwyn's made 3 deep and over on the inside Narbotto. A length and a half away then a Kingston Rule, followed by Rising Fear. In the middle was Mr. Brooker. A length and a half to Flying Luskin in 10th placing. One to Ali Boy, the inside of Equidity. A length and a half to Mount Olympus, followed by the Phantom, Water Boatman over on the inside of Shazura. Then Del Raffin, followed by Rainbow Myth and Sedestin getting a rails run. A length to Frontier Boy Batuta, 1.5 to Terrific Shallier, and last of all was Just a Dancer. He's 20 lengths off the leader, Savage Toss. They have 1,000 metres to go. The Argentinian in front. It's Savage Toss by a length to Our Magic Man and La Tristia. A length away, Selwyn's made 5th over on the outside, but under pressure, Rising Fear. Then Narbotto, a length away going forward, Mr. Brooker, followed by Donegal Mist under pressure. Kingston Rule sticking to the inside, Flying Luskin around them wide. The Phantom gets off the fence. Ali Boy being ridden along. Water Boatman next, and then Shazura. Over on the inside was Sedestin and Frontier Boy making a long sustained run. Terrific's third last. On the turn in the Cup, and Savage Toss is still in front. The Argentine Stallion led a length and a half at the top of the straight. Second was Our Magic Man, a length and a half. Narbotto, La Tristia running on. Then Flying Luskin, followed by Mr. Brooker, and Kingston Rule goes for the run up on the inside. Here's Equidity and Mount Olympus down the outside with the Phantom. 300 metres to go, and Our Magic Man hit the front of the Cup. Kingston Rule's out after him, and so too is the Phantom. Here's Kingston Rule. Kingston Rule hit the front of the Melbourne Cup. 200 metres to go. The Phantom and Mr. Brooker trying hard. Kingston Rule in front. The Phantom trying to get up on the inside, but it's Bart's 8th Cup, and Kingston Rule wins the Melbourne Cup a length. Second, the Phantom. Third, Mr. Brooker. Fourth name of the event close up was Narbotto. Then Mount Olympus and Equidity. Savage Toss, La Tristia, Flying Luskin, Our Magic Man, Sedestin, Ali Boy, Shallier, Terrific, Just a Dancer, Del Raffin, Rainbow Myth, never in it from Frontier Boy, Batuta. Then Water Boatman, Rising Fear, Shazura, Selwyn's mate, and Donegal Mist was last in the 1990 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Well, what about that then, eh? Bart Cummings again, 8 Melbourne Cups. A fantastic effort, Bart Cummings, and he is the Cups king. I don't think Dan will ever see that in our lifetime. Anyone trains 8 Melbourne Cup winners, and as we made the comment before the race, that he looked terrific, didn't he?
He did.
Kingston Rule, he looked magnificent. Crackers made the comment as well. The Phantom, a great run, and also Mr. Brooker. But Dan, if you go back to the home, just before the home turn, the horse Harry White rode, Ali Boy. I see him get on a horse's heels in front of him and nearly fell. I don't know whether Harry's got a hard luck story to tell, but oh gee whiz, what about J.B. Cummings? How can you ever ride him off?
We talked about the time that run. They have annihilated last year's track record, 0.8 of a second. There's the winning jockey, Darren Beedman. Picked it up because Victoria and Sydney's leading jockeys didn't want to ride this horse. Lucky ride for Darren Beedman, and he was going to win the Melbourne Cup a long way out. Their famous colours carried by one of the most, or the best bred horses ever seen in Australia, Kingston Town. What a moment for David Hayes.
The best known colours too, Dan, aren't they?
They are. Bred in America, Secretariat, the sire. Rose of Kingston, one of the best mares Australia has ever seen, is the Dam. He was bred to win a Melbourne Cup. They said he couldn't stay, but it was that master, the man who's got 7 of them, John Letts, who's done it, put the polish on.
Dan, yesterday morning, Bart bought him out to Flemington here yesterday morning. He raced on Saturday. He bought him out here yesterday morning, sent him 2,000 metres in a gallop, and they all said Bart was crazy, but Bart has done this before, time and time again with Hyperno. He did it with Golden Black. He's done it with a lot of his horses. And how can you tell a guy like Bart Cummings how to train his horses? He's the greatest, this guy.
Well, this horse was balloted out of the McKinnon Stakes on Saturday. Bart had to run him in the Dalgety. Bart's 8th Cup win. He's with Peter Donegan exclusively.
The Cups king, Bart Cummings. 8 Melbourne Cups. How does it feel?
Well, it's better than 7. It's terrific, really.
But 11 years in the making since your last Melbourne Cup. Were there ever any doubts that you would win another one?
Well, the more they said I was finished, I said it's better to be a has-been than never been one at all. So I decided I didn't want to like to be a has-been, so I had to get busy and get cracking. And we got luck, fortunate enough, we got this horse to train from David, and it's lovely for him also. It's a homebred horse. The first time I've trained the winner of a homebred horse. I normally have bought them myself. So it's quite a thrill. It's good. It's lovely for David also.
Your Melbourne Cup history goes back to Comic Court in 1950. It's now 1990, 40 years ago. Is one more emotional than the other?
I don't know. I think the excitement of the crowd and the tradition of the race, it just sort of builds up a little, and all the congratulations, well, it does get to you a little, but I'm quite composed now, and I'm looking for next year.
And a great ride by Darren Beadman.
Very good. Thanks, Jack. Good lad. Yeah.
Lovely to see.
Thank you. Good.
Bart, well done. Congratulations on yet again becoming the Cup's king.
Thanks a lot.
Bart Cummings winning his 8th Melbourne Cup today with Kingston Rule.
History was made on Saturday, Peter, with David Hayes training 6 of the 8. History again made today. Bart already had the winning record of 7 Melbourne Cups. He's added 1 to that. It's 8. And what a moment. This is the finest moment in thoroughbred racing in Australia. John Letts knows he's been in this situation twice. How would Darren Beadman feel, John?
I'd say Darren Beadman would be on top of the world at the moment, Dan, and just to walk down that race after winning the Melbourne Cup, and as you can see yourself, the crowd here, they just... When the race started, there was an eruption of the crowd, and then when they got to the 1200, you could hear them again, and they're very vocal at the moment. Darren Beadman, he's a Sydney jockey, and the Golden Slipper is always their #1 priority up there, Dan, but to win a Melbourne Cup like we saw Shane Dye last year, there's nothing like winning a Melbourne Cup.
And it's great too for the connections at Flemington. People I've worked closely with, Leon Corsons, the Melbourne foreman for Bart Cummings. I've had a bit of an association with the horse. It was probably my favourite. I ruled him out. They told me he couldn't stay. I believed them. But you never underestimate any horse trained by J.B. Cummings.
J.B. Cummings is magic with a racehorse, Dan, and I don't think we'll ever see another trainer in our lifetime at the same calibre as J.B. Cummings.
What a moment. I mean, this is just unbelievable. The pinnacle of any owner, trainer or jockey's career. And Darren just doesn't know what planet he's on at the moment. This is just phenomenal. He was beaten on a very short price favourite in the previous event, but nothing matters now. It's all to what has happened in the last 5 or 6 minutes, and he's won the Melbourne Cup. And that name, Darren Beadman, Bart Cummings and Kingston Rule, is going to be on the lips of everybody in Australia and New Zealand and to the viewers all around the world.
You know, Dan, the second and third horse don't get a mention, do they? Have a look. It's all on the winners in the Melbourne Cup. There's only one horse in the Melbourne Cup after the race, and that is the winner. The second, third, fourth and fifth, wherever they run, it doesn't matter.
They're forgotten about.
They're forgotten about. There's the winner, and he's it.
David Haynes has
Leon Corsons has fallen very happy.
David Haynes, the owner's had some great horses. He's won Oaks, he's won Derbies, he's won Cox Plates. He's now won the Melbourne Cup. He's now with Peter Donegan.
Yes, David Haynes is down here accepting the congratulations of everyone. David, well done. It's like a dream come true. I mean, you bred this horse to be a champion. Right at this moment, he's the champion of the world, really.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe it. I've never really thought I'd win a Melbourne Cup. I've tried. But this is the crowning moment of our turf career.
Did it flash through your mind at all in the last 100 metres with the same colours that were in front 8 years ago? Oh, no, the Phantom's not going to do it again.
Everything was shaking so much I couldn't tell you what was basically going through my mind. But it was just a wonderful, wonderful ride by the jockey and a great horse, and they did the job so well.
David, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Graham Kelly is now with the winning jockey, Darren Beadman.
The atmosphere and everything just makes it so much better than the race. It just gets your adrenaline going, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I hit the front furlong out, and I was just hoping he held on. But it's a good gutsy win, and he's certainly going to improve on that. Like for next year too, he's going to be even better.
And the barrier 1 didn't prove to be a problem for you. Sometimes can be a problem, but you got into a nice position about 8th.
Yes, I don't care. You know, 1 alley is just as important in 1,000 metres as in a 3,200. You don't have to use your horse up, and it suited me ideal. And I was able to use him up when I wanted to in the straight.
You didn't have to make a move till about the 600?
No, I had to avoid a thing's heels at the 700, but he come back under me nice, and that probably did help me find my feet again and get going.
What about in the straight?
Once I angled out for that run, I thought, you know, it had to be good to beat me.
What about the Phantom when he came to you just inside the clock tower?
I was hoping it wasn't him, but I thought he was probably the hardest to beat in the race because he's so solid, and being a bit older than my horse, a bit stronger, but our Blake showed plenty of fight and tenacity to win.
And you're holding him on the post?
Yes, that's right.
Congratulations, Darren. You're a part of racing history.
Yeah, I'm glad to be too. Thanks,
Thank
Graham.
you.
And why wouldn't he be? Darren Beadman, the jockey that will be on everybody's lips tonight after winning the 1990 Melbourne Cup. And that's the horse, Kingston Rule, who won after drawing barrier 1. Kingston Rule never left the fence. It was a fantastic ride, and inside the 300 metres point, the leaders are 3 in front, but they've got to stop. They've run enormous time up front, and look at Beedman get Kingston Rule off the fence, John Letts, and at this point he's the one to beat with the Phantom closing on his inside.
Well, I think he was lucky he did get him out there, Dan, because if he hadn't come out there and taken that run, I think the Phantom might have switched around him and gone out there. But he's just got himself out in time, and then the Phantom's gone back to the inside of him. Well, he was always there. But here, Darren Beedman, he's just throwing everything at him. And, you know, the post wouldn't come up quick enough for him, would it? But JB Cummings' horses, they never stop.
They never stop.
2 miles, they just keep running.
They do get the 2 miles. And the Phantom looked a big danger at the half furlong, 100 metres to go. But really, Kingston Rule
on the line, he was
got away from him. If he wasn't holding him, he got away. And a great run by Mr. Brook, a top effort. Equidity, a good run. The 4th and 5th horses, magnificent. We'll come back. History's been made. There's more action and the presentation to come after this short break.